never thought I'd be the kind of person to expose someone's deepest secret, especially something as private as an abortion, but sometimes life puts you in situations where you discover sides of yourself you never knew existed. My girlfriend Megan and I had been together for 3 years. We met during our sophomore year of college, and things just clicked between us. She was smart, funny, compassionate, and we shared many of the same values and goals. Or so I thought. Megan came from a deeply religious Catholic family. Her parents were the type who attended Mass every Sunday, volunteered at church functions, and raised their children with strict religious values. They believed strongly in no sex before marriage, and abortion was completely out of the question in their worldview. Megan had rebelled against some of their strictures, obviously, since we were in a sexual relationship, but she maintained a good relationship with her family by keeping certain aspects of her life private from them. I respected that balance she maintained. I understood what it was like to love your family while also developing your own values and beliefs. My own parents were more liberal, but I still kept certain things from them. It's part of becoming an adult, figuring out what parts of yourself you share with which people in your life. 6 months ago, Megan discovered she was pregnant. We were both shocked. We had always been careful with protection. But no method is 100% effective, and there we were, facing an unexpected pregnancy while still in our final year of college, with graduate school plans and career ambitions that didn't include becoming parents at 22. After many long, emotional conversations, Megan decided to have an abortion. It was her choice, and I supported her through it. I drove her to the clinic, held her hand during the consultation, picked up her prescriptions, and took care of her during her recovery. It was an emotionally draining experience for both of us, but especially for her. "Please don't tell anyone about this," she begged me the day after the procedure. "If my parents ever found out, they would disown me. I'm not exaggerating. They would cut me off completely." "I would never tell them," I promised. "This is your private medical information. It's not anyone else's business." And I meant it. I had no intention of ever sharing that information with anyone, least of all her judgmental parents. What happened next, though, changed everything. 2 months after the abortion, I began noticing changes in Megan's behavior. She became more distant, was constantly on her phone, and our sex life had dwindled to almost nothing. She blamed it on stress from school and lingering emotional trauma from the abortion. I gave her space, tried to be understanding. Then came the night I discovered the truth. Megan had fallen asleep with her phone unlocked, and a notification caught my eye. It was a message from someone named Chris that read, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Last night was amazing." My stomach dropped. I knew I shouldn't look through her phone, but in that moment, my intuition was screaming at me. I tapped on the message and found myself scrolling through months of explicit texts, arranging meetups, declarations of feelings, and complaints about me. The affair had been going on for 6 months, meaning it had started long before the abortion. I felt physically ill. Not only had she been cheating on me, but I had supported her through an abortion that, for all I knew, could have been for a pregnancy that wasn't even mine. I gently woke her up, my hands shaking with anger and betrayal. "Who's Chris?" I asked, holding up her phone. Her face went pale. She tried to grab the phone from me, but I pulled it away. "It's not what you think," she started, but I cut her off. "Don't lie to me. I've read enough to know exactly what it is. How long has this been going on?" After some deflection and minimizing, she finally admitted the truth. She had been seeing Chris, a guy from her economics class, for 6 months. The affair had been physical for most of that time. "And the baby?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "Was it even mine?" She looked down at her hands. "I don't know," she admitted. "It could have been either of yours. That's part of why I couldn't go through with the pregnancy. I didn't even know who the father was." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Not only had she cheated on me repeatedly, but she had let me support her through an abortion without telling me the whole truth. I had held her hand, comforted her, taken care of her, all while being completely in the dark about her betrayal. I packed a bag that night and went to stay with a friend. Over the next few days, Megan called and texted constantly, begging for forgiveness, swearing she'd end things with Chris, promising it would never happen again. I blocked her number. A week later, I ran into her younger sister at a coffee shop near campus. She approached me, asking what had happened between Megan and me, saying that Megan had been devastated since our breakup. Something inside me snapped. The anger, hurt, and betrayal that had been simmering for days boiled over. Before I could stop myself, I told her everything, about the affair, about the abortion, about the possibility that the pregnancy wasn't even mine. "She had an abortion and your parents don't know?" I said, my voice trembling with emotion. "She lied to everyone, including me. For 6 months, she was sleeping with another guy while I thought we were in a committed relationship." Her sister's eyes widened in shock. She left without saying another word. I knew immediately what would happen, and part of me wanted to stop it. I could have called Megan, warned her about what I'd done, given her a chance to get ahead of the situation with her parents. But I didn't. I let it unfold. 2 days later, I heard from a mutual friend that Megan's parents had indeed disowned her. They had cut her off financially, refused to pay her final semester's tuition, and told her not to come home for the upcoming spring break. She had been forced to move out of her apartment, which they had been paying for, and was couch surfing with friends while trying to figure out how to afford her remaining credits to graduate. The mutual friend was furious with me. "How could you tell her family about the abortion? You knew they would react this way. You've ruined her life over a mistake." I didn't respond. I didn't know what to say. Had I gone too far? Yes, she had betrayed me deeply, but did she deserve to lose her family, her home, her financial support? What's eating me up inside is that I didn't plan any of this. It wasn't a calculated move to destroy her life. It was a moment of raw hurt and anger, lashing out at someone who had caused me pain. But the consequences have been far more severe than I anticipated, and now I'm left wondering if my actions were justified. On one hand, Megan betrayed me in the worst possible way. She cheated on me for months, let me support her through an abortion without telling me the whole truth, and only expressed remorse when she got caught. She made her choices, and now she's facing the consequences. On the other hand, I knew exactly how her family would react to the news. I knew they would cut her off. I knew how devastating that would be for her. And I told them anyway, breaking a promise I had made to keep her abortion private. My friends are divided. Some think Megan got what she deserved, that actions have consequences and she's reaping what she sowed. Others think I crossed a line by involving her family, that no matter how hurt I was, some things should remain private. I don't know if what I did was justified, or if I went too far in my quest for revenge. I don't know if I can forgive myself for potentially destroying her relationship with her family forever, even though she showed no regard for my feelings or our relationship. Am I the a-hole?